Supermodels call this a secret elixir. Celebrities use this iconic vitamin C serum every single day for glowing skin. And I'm a medical esthetician who doesn't want to spend more money than I have to, and if I'm going to spend money, I actually want it to work for me. Today we are talking about the luxury skincare swaps that have saved me over $1,000, probably multiple thousands of dollars with the amount that I spend on skincare. But these are the swaps that are either actually worth it, the products that if you're going to splurge are worth the money, or literally the $15 alternatives that are not going to break the bank. And you could arguably say that this video is 12 years in the making because that's how long I've had this YouTube channel and struggled with my acne, and I am always trying to find a deal. Now, I will admit there are times that I speak about products that I love that are a little bit more on the pricey side. I know, shocking, right? There are a few things that I'm willing to splurge on because I love the brand, I love what they stand for, or the texture or the science behind it really intrigues me. Especially when something like this from Dermalogica is a good comparison to a $300 Augustinus the Rich Cream. Or something like this, a Triple C Ferulic, or a little dropper like this from Maylove are two acceptable dupes or swaps for the very expensive CE Ferulic serum. Let's get into it and break it down like a medical esthetician using not only brands and products that are Med Esthete approved, but speaking about the science behind why these work and how you can actually become a skintellectual yourself, learning to turn and learn your ingredient labels, learn how to read unbiased reviews at Sephora, and actually figure out which products are going to give you the best bang for your buck. And when it comes to those that are Med Esthete approved, I want to break down why, including thanking Dermalogica for working with us on a portion of this video to specifically break down what you need to look for. So let's start with that. Let's actually start with the Sephora reviews, shall we? Whenever you read Sephora reviews online, there are little toggles on the top that can show you if it's a verified purchase or not and whether or not it's an incentivized review. Now, when I go perusing through the aisles of the skincare stores, I always want to know what people think of celebrity brands. I mean, Hailey Bieber's out here launching products, the Kardashians are out here launching products, Jennifer Lopez has her olive oil. But in my mind, I want to know, is this going to be better than something like Dermalogica, where the founder actually created the Dermal Skin Institute, or something like Perricone MD made by a doctor? And that's when you want to look at those reviews. Now, reviews won't tell you everything, just the way if you turn and learn your products, that ingredient list on the back of the label is actually telling you what's in the product, which will then tell you how it should supposedly work. But just like the reviews, the ingredient label doesn't tell us everything. It doesn't tell us where the products were sourced, how they were formulated together, or whether or not they're stable. Now, all of that taken into consideration, if you want to swap out the expensive stuff for the better buys or the buys that are actually worth the money, you do want to turn and learn your ingredient labels always, and you do want to read those reviews. And that's how I kind of got up with Augustinus the Rich Cream. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that we like to analyze, scrutinize, and learn from other people's skincare routines. And so many celebrities use this amazing little blue bottle called Augustinus the Rich Cream. And this rich cream, you basically have to be rich to buy it because it's $300. Now, while it's insane, there are so many articles online talking about how Jennifer Aniston and Victoria Beckham and like all these celebrities and Kardashians love this cream, swear by its $300, $400 formula. It is vegan and cruelty free. Let me tell you, if I only had $1 for every time I walked into a Sephora wanting to purchase this product, but then I just couldn't justify it because it was too expensive. Well, if I had $1 each time, I'd probably have enough money to actually buy it. But I have gone into Sephora so many times wanting to buy this and just not being able to make the plunge. That's my monthly skincare project, bro. And I do this as a professional, okay? And when it comes to finding a dupe for Augustinus the Rich Cream, I've never really been able to find something that has that same silky texture that just absorbs into the skin with nourishing oils that actually care for the skin. And I just haven't taken the plunge. Well, I tried this, and I actually tried this here in San Francisco and in Abu Dhabi, which is a story for another day. And I tried this thinking that I was gonna rip on it. I thought I was gonna hate it. There are some Dermalogica products that I absolutely love, and some that just missed the mark for me and my oily acne-prone skin. And this is the Phyto Nature Oxygen Cream. I thought this was going to be a miss, but when I was in Abu Dhabi, I was like, holy the jojoba in here, she's taking care of me. These plants, specifically the winter rose, it's doing it for me. And me and my more sensitive skin still absolutely love this. But as I was doing this, I was like, wait a minute, why does this feel and even like kind of low-key smell so similar to something that I remember? Was it from my dreams? Was it from my youth? Was it from my past? Nope. It was the Augustinus the Rich Cream on the Sephora shelf that I just couldn't make the plunge for. And when I looked at the non-incentivized reviews on Sephora from verified purchasers, I was Correct. I was validated as the skincare nerd that I am. This is like a texture dupe for Augustinus Butter the Rich Cream. It is light, it is silky, but it gives your skin this nourishing kind of oil finish that makes you feel, well, rich. And this product is a little bit more expensive. It is definitely not on the cheap side. Don't be fooled. Dermalogica has different lines. I've always loved the Clear Start for acne. A lot of the Clear Start products are like $50 or under, even $30 or under. And they've got some bomb diggity things. But this Age Smart line, there are actually multiple products within this line that I do like and that I will splurge on. Specifically, there is a toner that, again, I wanted to hate. And it's the Nature one. It's from basically the same line. And I thought that I would hate it. And I spent $145 on it just to rip on it, and I ended up loving it. If you look back to old videos I did like 2-3 years ago, I spoke about how it's one of the luxury products I actually like. Well, Dermalogica has done it again, only this is a third cheaper than the Augustinus Butter the Rich Cream. If Augustine's Butter the Rich is $300, this is coming in at a third of the price. Now, what's interesting about this is that it doesn't have the same peptides that Augustine's Butter the Rich Cream does, so just keep that in mind. The texture is very similar. But this has adaptogens, this has roots, and this has antioxidants in it that actually help to plump and nourish the skin. You could use this during the day underneath your sunscreen, or you could use this at night really to refresh. And me being a little bit more oily, this is what I like to do. This specifically has Rose of Winter, and when I was reading that, I was like, what is this, like a rose that was like grown in the cold season? Yes and no. Rose of Winter actually grows at really high elevations. And the astragalus and the electric daisy flower, which yes is an actual flower, I did not know that's yes actually in here, grow at very high oxygen deprived temperatures. And that means that these plants naturally have a ton of antioxidants and that they're used to surviving in really low oxygen, difficult climates, which means that these plants have naturally created a bunch of phytonutrients to protect themselves, and they've adapted to their surroundings. And Dermalogica has the theory that they would take these, put them in their product, and that they would provide skin support. Now, when it comes to the phytonutrients and the antioxidants, the answer is absolutely yes. Now, if you're asking me to tell you specifically about winter rose or electric daisy flower, I don't know those answers. Electric daisy flower, why does it sound like something you would see at Coachella? Anyways, there's ingredients like luffa root and jojoba and squalane, really nourishing oils, and I do find that this just makes my skin feel so plump and lifted, and the biggest thing about it is that it is silky. Oh my gosh, it's silky smooth. Do you see a difference before and after I put this on my face? So because I'm oily, I would definitely use this at night for myself, but holy shit, this is wonderful. And this is kind of the look that I feel like Augustinus Butter the Rich Cream gives celebrities and people that I see online after they use it. Now, I don't want to say that this is an exact dupe because it doesn't have the exact same ingredients. And I think that a lot of the best buys aren't actual dupes, but they're more like swaps. It's taking something that celebrities love or that people just shout about and finding something that's actually better for your skin, or that does what that product claims to do, but better and at a better price. And this is absolutely one of them. The Age Smart line from Dermalogica is really good. It's not the cheapest of the cheap, but it is a wonderful option that I genuinely went in trying not to like, and it ended up befriending me. Now, another product that I'm still having a hard time with befriending is actually the dupe to the very expensive SkinCeuticals one. And we have two options here. One of them, again, is more of a dupe, and one is more of a swap, something that is better, that does what the other one claims, but more effectively, even if it doesn't have the same texture or ingredients. And babe, you know at this point, we have to talk about the SkinCeuticals, specifically the CE Ferulic Serum. This serum is all over. Again, celebrities love it. They call it the immediate glow. And this is a stabilized form of vitamin C combined with ferulic acid. It's a great antioxidant serum, brightens up the skin, helps to reduce uneven pigmentation. Use it under sunscreen or at night. Your choice. Good. Thing is, it smells like hot dog water. And for $180, why are people spending that much on something that still stings and has a hard time penetrating the skin? A lot of doctors and derm offices sell it and love it because let me tell you, as someone who's worked with and alongside doctors and derms, medical clinics and doctors and derms get a huge chunk of sales commission from SkinCeuticals. SkinCeuticals, even in aesthetic worlds, they give a huge chunk of sales to the people that sell them. Now, that is not an inherently bad thing. Of course, we want our doctors and derms and estheticians to be compensated and to make sure that they can make a living helping us with our skin. But for $180 for a serum that smells like hot dog water that stings my skin, I'm gonna reach for a $32 one, and I did. So there are two options here. One is definitely still luxury, and one of them is an inexpensive dupe. One of them is almost as expensive, and it's actually a completely different texture, and it's oil soluble as opposed to water soluble, whereas this one is pretty much almost an exact dupe. So let's start here. This is $32. This is from Maylove, and this is the Glow Maker Antioxidant Serum. This has ascorbic acid in it, and This smells and looks and feels just like the hot dog water. Again, the SkinCeuticals is basically hot dog water, oily, stingy, burning on the skin. This is given the same vibes. The only difference is that this one is 32. Now again, the ingredients are not identical, but this is one of the best dupes that you can get if you're trying to get the SkinCeuticals CE ferulic, but at a less expensive price. The ingredients in here include CE and ferulic, as well as sodium hyaluronate, aka hyaluronic acid, that you probably know at this point. And it's even got like a grapefruit in it, I think. Again, it's a nice little serum. It just smells absolutely terrible. I find that this one works just as well. It feels just as burny on the skin. And if you've always wanted to try the SkinCeuticals but just never wanted to spend that much money, this is what I would recommend. But if you want something that I think works better than SkinCeuticals, there is this option. And this is from Perricone MD. This is the CCC Ferulic Brightening Complex 20%. This is basically a vitamin C brightening complex, but instead of being water soluble like this one in the SkinCeuticals, this one is oil soluble. And remember, our skin is made naturally of oils. So what's going to penetrate into the skin easier? Water soluble and oil soluble? Well, it depends on the percentage of the acid. It depends on the pKa level of the acid and the pH of the acid and the polarity of the molecules and how they penetrate into the skin. But this one from Perricone MD has multiple forms of vitamin C. It's oil soluble, it feels better on the skin, and it penetrates better. And because it's oil soluble, this has a much better chance of getting into the nucleus of the skin cells, which is where the vitamin C actually needs to get if it's going to do the work that we want it to do. This stuff is amazing, but it is expensive. Full price, it's like $160. So again, just like the SkinCeuticals, but I don't spend $160 on this. I spend $120 on this, or $75 when it's on sale on Amazon. During like their Prime sales once or twice a year, I can get this at literally half off. It is so good. And depending on your budget and what you're looking for, either of these are really great cruelty-free options to compare to the SkinCeuticals. And I understand like Kardashians love it and celebrities rant and rave about it, but babe, turn and learn those ingredients, read the reviews from verified buyers, and holy these not only give SkinCeuticals a run for their money, but some of them are far superior in my opinion. Now, another swap that I won't shut the f up about is this one from SK2. This was sent to me, and SK2, their facial treatment essence, it's basically a $200 glass bottle, and they say that it's worth the money because it has patera from sake in it, basically fermented Japanese rice wine. And while I have no doubt that that's wonderful, I don't want to be spending $200 on this, and it's not cruelty-free. Well, babe, I have something that is not only less expensive, but also better. And this is from Korea. This is from ENS, the Jinjungsung Soothing Moisturizer. This is so freaking good. This is nourishing to skin, and do you see how it's not an exact dupe? The patera one from SK2 is like much more of a liquid. This is almost like a liquid, kind of like a liquid jellyfish. This is so nice. It is hydrating to skin. It is soothing. It is anti-wrinkle. It is uplifting. And again, I think it's like $23 to $25 compared to $200. And it also comes in a very nice glass bottle. Like they feel literally just as heavy. Now, how do the ingredients break down? Well, again, this one has patera. That's pretty much it. This one has ceramides, this has hyaluronic acid, this has glycerin, basically ingredients that our skin naturally makes and loves. This has beta-glucans in it. I f***ing love this so much. This does have a very minimal amount of lavender in it. I am super sensitive to lavender, so be aware. But for me, this has never bothered my skin. And even with the lavender, this is way better than the SK2, especially because you could literally get 6 of these for one of these. Dude, you get 10 of these for one of these if you're getting this for 20 bucks on Styleavana. Holy shit. And this is where I would say it's not an exact dupe, but it's more of a skincare swap for better, because this took what this couldn't do, made it better, made it less expensive, made it more absorbent and more supportive to our skin with the ceramides and the beta-glucans, and then packaged it up to us in a way that we can actually use and love and adore. If you have always wanted to get the SK2 essence, but you've never wanted to spend the money, I do understand this one's like made in the UK with like ingredients from Japan. This one's made in Korea. Cutting edge, absolutely wonderful. I could not recommend trying this swap enough. And again, this alone saved me like 180 bucks just by doing this. Again, I got this for free. Very grateful that they sent it to me, but doesn't mean I'm gonna give it a good review because I don't think it's worth it. But if you wanted this esthetician's opinion, there you go. Another esthetician opinion that shouldn't be spicy, but kind of is, are my thoughts on some sunscreen. I recently spoke about this and how much I love this. This is from Colorescience. This is the All Calm Clinical Redness Corrector. Let me just say, I know this is pricey. This is a $155 sunscreen. I know. This is worth every penny. This is worth it to me. This covers redness like nobody's business. Let me show you on half of my face. This covers like nothing before. But that being said, it is expensive, and people kind of got low-key mad that I spoke about it and how much I love it, because they were like, it's $155. Like, when is that ever worth it for a sunscreen? For some people, it's not. For me, it's a huge part of my skincare monthly budget, but yes, it has been worth it. I love this. I love that it's made by people with rosacea for people with rosacea. And again, it's an SPF 50. Now, this is made to cover redness and support rosacea-prone skin. Absolutely worth it, but I understand that people didn't like the price. So baby, you know I had to come in with a dupe or a swap. This is one example that I don't feel it's an exact dupe, but this is the closest swap that you can get if you don't want to spend the money. And again, if this is $155, this one's $50. But let's talk about the ingredient breakdown and the differences. One thing that I had such a hard time with was finding a texture that matches this. Again, this covers redness like a foundation. Well, there's a little something from Iris and Romeo. This is a vitamin C SPF 50 sunscreen that is thickums thick, and it's not exactly the same as the Colorescience, but it is very comparable. So take a look at that. The Colorescience is on this side, whereas the Iris and Romeo is on this side. Iris and Romeo is a little bit more oily. The Colorescience, you know, definitely lends itself better to covering scars and texture and redness, and it's a little bit more mattified, but these are both great options, and if you're trying to save a third of the price, you can absolutely do it with this. And one of the other major differences are the ingredients. This one from Iris and Romeo has vitamin C. Amazing. SPF 50, vitamin C, mineral sunscreen, a gorgeous tint. This one from Colorescience, while it is a tinted mineral SPF 50, this one does not have the vitamin C. This one does have a BioSolace complex that is patent pending, and this is basically meant to calm down redness in skin even after you take the sunscreen off. And again, that's why for me, this one's absolutely worth it. However, for some people who don't want to spend that money, the Iris and Romeo is a really great option. So let me just show you again, like on my red cheeks, when I touch them a little bit, they get super red. I want to make them evenly red for you. And let me just take a little swipe and put that right here. And then I'm going to take a little swipe of this, and I'm going to put this over here. Take a look at how those both cover. I do feel like the Colorescience covers a little bit better. I do feel like it covers the redness and it's a little bit more matte, whereas the Iris and Romeo is definitely very dewy, kind of gives you that dewy, oily sheen. But overall, if you're looking for a dupe or a swap, this is an amazing switch, especially if you only want to pay $50 instead of $155. Both of these are great. I like them for different reasons. I'm still gonna be buying my Colorescience, and for the babes that don't like it because of the price, I understand. Worth it for me. I am someone who has redness in my skin, probably dermatographia, if not subclinical rosacea. It is very frustrating. I love this, but I don't need to defend it because it's right for me. And if you want to be a skintellectual and turn and learn those ingredients, you would see that this is also an SPF 50. It's tinted. It has skin supportive ingredients, and especially when you try them out, you'll notice that while they're not exactly the same, they are very, very similar. And for most people, this is going to be just fine. And another great perk is that both of these have skincare ingredients that leave your skin looking better once you take them off. Again, this one prevents redness, this one does not, but this one has vitamin C, and this one does not. Now, what if you're someone who uses skincare devices like the NuFace or something that needs a conduction gel? You use a microcurrent device. You are probably familiar with these kinds of things. Again, I love and use the NebuLyft. I've tried out the Ziip, but these little products are so expensive. And while they have unique things, like one might have a peptide or one might be like a lifting conductor, at the end of the day, these are conductors, and these brands are charging $40, $50 to $100 for a lot of these golden gels or these botanical soothing gels for all skin types. If you are looking for a luxury skin swap or something that allows your microcurrent device to work without breaking the bank, and you don't care about the fancy peptides or any scents or any extra ceramides or hydrators, let me get you onto something. Ultrasound gel. Yep, this is an emergency medicine bestie. And this right here is literally ultrasound gel. Like if someone's going in for an ultrasound because they're looking at their baby, or you're like me, you're trying to find your one kidney, or if you're trying to look inside someone's thoracic cavity or anywhere else in their body with an ultrasound machine, you're gonna need some gel. And this here conduction gel allows the ultrasound to work, basically passing these ultrasonic waves through the skin to result in an image. Well, this is basically the same kind of stuff. This one right here happens to be water soluble and hypoallergenic, but this is a transmission gel. Obviously, I have not used this one in ultrasounds. Yes, I have done ultrasounds. I have experience in that. It's not related to aesthetics, but obviously this is not something that I have, put on people who need ultrasounds. This is something that I have just for me. But if you are looking to get the biggest bang for your buck and be like a medical SC and turn and learn those ingredients, you will see that a lot of these are literally the same stuff. They're just charging you way more because they put a fragrance or like a special, peptide that's firming in here. Whereas this, yes, it's very basic, but This stuff is really good and it gets the job done. And especially if you don't care about leaving it on skin and you can wipe it off after, it feels kind of chunky and it's cooling on the skin. You can literally put this on, you use your microcurrent device, it conducts just as well, only you have a ton of it. And this is 15 to 30 bucks, depending on where you get it. If you get it from a medical supply store and you have a license, you can get a discount. You can probably get it on Amazon or somewhere on the internet for less. And when you compare like 30 to 50 to $60 for these versus like 15, 20 bucks for this, bro. Obviously, this is not an exact dupe. This is more of a swap, but this has single-handedly helped save me so much money, and it is going to continue saving me money as I continue to use it. But this trick single-handedly has saved me so much money. And if you're trying to save money, not repurchasing these things because you don't need it and you're gonna wipe it off your face anyways, why not use something that's going to allow you to save money so you can actually spend the money on a skincare device or on a moisturizer or a vitamin C that you like or something else fun, instead of a microcurrent gel that's literal only purpose is to conduct electricity into your skin. This is the Aquasonic 100. Love this one. This is what just is used for ultrasounds. It's what I know. There are so many brands out there. Just make sure that you turn and learn those ingredients and make sure it has something like glycerin or carbomer or just something that helps to conduct that electricity. It needs to be a water base. So again, look at water soluble because that's what's going to allow the microcurrent to actually conduct. Again, if you really want to use like an oil or if you want to use something that you're gonna leave on the skin, then it does make sense to buy like the New Face has like a cream or they have like a peptide serum that conducts. Really love those. But when it comes to most of these, if the goal is to put the gel on your face, microcurrent, and get the benefits of microcurrent and then remove the gel, this is the way to go, babes. And I am someone who loves a deal. If I can find a deal, I will take it. And even when I do like to splurge a little bit, I need to make sure that the product is putting in the work. I need to make sure it's worth it for my skin and for my budget. And some of these options, while still expensive, absolutely are. Whereas others, even if you have the money, I would still recommend going a more budget version. These swaps have single-handedly saved me $1,000, if not multiple thousands of dollars, just based on cosmetic chemistry and how they actually work on the skin. And I wish that I didn't have to buy and try so many products to figure this out. I wish that I had a YouTube video, a cheat sheet, a medical SD bestie guide to actually reference where I could learn these things from others instead of overspending and making mistakes on my own before I found things that I actually love. And all of that being said, I will link all of these down here below for you. Again, there's also medical studies in the description if you ever want to check it out down there. We've also got links to the socials if you want to come say hi. There's a little YouTube product tab. If you want to click that, it can actually show you the products. You can read the ingredients or you can save them to read for later. And again, a huge thank you to Dermalogica for working with us on a portion of this video, helping bring people the understanding of how to actually turn and learn your ingredients, what to look for, and how to make sure it's right for you. It definitely can be a process, even learning to filter through the reviews at Sephora or learning to understand what works for your skin. But baby, once you start to turn and learn, you will never go back, as in you will never read the front of a label, you will always read the back to understand what's actually in these and how they work. Do remember to always stay hydrated, both orally and topically. Always reapply that sunscreen and make sure to be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, and I cannot wait to hear about your luxury skincare dupes or swaps or the products that you want me to buy and try and put to the test next. Please put those in the comments so that I can do so. And please click here for the next video. Let's take a blast from the past. These are luxury products that I do actually like. And if you want something better for a budget, here are some of the best sunscreens that are under $10. Under $10, babes. Love you guys. Bye.